Hey there. Welcome to today's session. This is session 6 of the 30 session workshop series on the Startup Money Playbook that we have been doing. And today's session is all about pricing strategies, how to price anything. And this is the most important lever that we actually discussed, if you remember, when we were completing our session 5. Most founders set their price once and they never revisit. That's the single decision, one which can, cost them thousands and thousands every month if the decision goes wrong. There are 4 frameworks of pricing that we are going to actually see. We will evaluate, and accordingly, you can take a decision. Value-based pricing, which is going to charge, what's worth and not what it cost, right? So this is a kind of advice that I would like to give most young entrepreneurs. There's something psychological pricing, anchoring, and there's a decoy effect that we're going to actually see. But before that, let's move on to having a recap of our previous session, which was all about the contribution margin and break even, right? So the first thing that we actually learned was the 10-second cost test. And for that, you just need to ask one question. If you sell 0 units, does the cost still exist? And if you get an answer as yes, then it's fixed. But if you get an answer as no, then it's variable, right? In case of Study AI, it was 36,701 rupees, which was fixed. And per download, that was a variable cost, was 7. In case of contribution margin, the equation is very simple. Contribution margin is equal to price minus the variable cost. So you may recall the contribution margin for the Study AI will be 99 minus 7, that is 92. And if you have to calculate its percentage, that is contribution margin percentage, then just divide it by 99 and you're going to get 92.9%. So every download contributes rupees 92. That's a contribution towards covering the fixed cost. What that means is if Study AI sells 399 downloads per month, then in that case, it will be at no loss, no profit situation. And anything extra will always contribute 92 rupees towards covering their fixed cost. Okay, this is also a safety margin that you can calculate. You take the fixed cost and divide it by the contribution, which is 92 rupees, right? And you get that. So price is the most powerful thing. So in this session, we are going to actually talk about that. Let's see how we can actually discuss. So we're going to start with a hook, and it's very simple, right? You will have to put your hand up if you just guessed your price and you have never thought anything else. Let's see what it does. The 4 frameworks that I discussed, and these are those those pricing: cost plus pricing, value-based pricing, competitive pricing, freemium, and penetration. There's something called psychological, and that's where we will see something called anchoring, decoy effect, which we actually do in daily life. So after this session, I believe you'll be able to evaluate any price using 4 frameworks, estimate a value-based price, build a competitive price map, explain psychological pricing, and defend your price decision. Please remember, this is not a one-time activity. You need to observe the market and keep doing this. So the hook, as I said, put your hand up if you guessed your price. And this is what most founders do. And the result is it costs them thousands every single month. Let's take an example, and this is something that we're going to change right now, assuming that Aryan guessed the price 99. What did it cost him? Very simple. He would have, felt right. Maybe not too expensive for students. It's like a round number, basically. And he would have thought if he had gone, higher, nobody would have bought. That could have been the perception. But that is cost anchored. It's fear-based pricing. A mentor ran A/B test, the alpha beta test, showed half the users, that is 129, and half 99. Simple. And this is what you should do actually. Go out and divide your customers into groups and give them. The conversion dropped from 8% to 6.8% in case of 129 pricing. But what happened? The revenue per visitor went up by 8%, and that really matters. So at 1200 downloads per month, if you can take 129 price, the total revenue generated will be 1,54,800 versus if you had gone out with 99 rupees, the revenue would have been 1,18,800. So you are at surplus when you're choosing 129 price, a surplus of 36,000 rupees per month. And that really makes a lot of difference when you take the entire year. So the real question is, what did the 99 cost him? Very simple. 36,000 per month into 12, 4,32,000 per year. And this is the math that you should actually do. He unrealized, this was the unrealized revenue from one pricing decision made in 5 minutes. And trust me, for a single user, 99 and 129 sometimes are a similar price. There's nothing that you can think too much. So you will have to go out and experiment it. Why did 129 still convert? So students weren't buying based on price. That's the question. They were buying based on value that he provided. Maybe exam preparation, it would have saved a lot of time. Grades got improved. So why not pay 129? It is still cheaper. What is the right price? Then the question. Not the cost plus a margin. Not what it feels comfortable to you. Not a round number. It's what the customer is willing to pay based on the value they receive. So what we understand from this slide is price is the most important lever in any business. Most founders set it once and then they forget. The part 2 of this presentation talks about 4 frameworks that we want to discuss, right? Use all of them. Let them fight. The answer is somewhere in the middle. Let's start with the cost plus pricing. The formula is very simple. Trust me. Cost into 1 plus markup percentage. Okay. In case of study AI, 7 rupees multiplied by 14.14 is the 99. So the 99 is the price that you have set. If you have to simplify this equation, and remember, take the price and equate it with cost plus the margin. That's it, the margin that you want. So that's called cost plus margin. Very simple, guaranteed margin. Okay. But the con is very simple. It ignores value. It penalizes efficiency. As we understood, people don't buy things based on sometimes, the cost, what the value it actually provides. You see around yourself. Take a lot of commodities, lot of items, similar items. One particular item offering the same services, but the value is really, really high, as perceived by the customers. So therefore, the price is definitely very high. Okay, so take cost plus as floor and not the ceiling. Let's move to the value-based pricing. And the formula is very simple. Ask a question, what is it worth to the customer? What is the value that it's pricing? I think. So revision notes versus tutor, 500 rupees per month you want to spend, or a revision notes that's going to actually help you. So from 129 to 199 you may charge. So the pro is it captures full willingness to pay, but the con is it's hard to measure. It needs testing. You have to definitely go and seek the validation, not just from 50, 100, but maybe sometimes 500 such customers. Use a ceiling target. Use this as ceiling target. Then there's something called the competitive pricing. You must have heard competitive pricing. The formula is very simple. Benchmark versus alternatives. Look around your competitor and see what they're pricing. Of course, look at their value proposition. Look at what the value that they're providing. In case of study AI, the competitors could be most of the edtech companies already there, right? Their chapter is 150 rupees, but study AI is 99, 34% cheaper, more valuable than them. So the pro is easy and it's market tested. The cons is prices in a race to the bottom. So you need to check this position. Okay, that's very simple. The price is too less. The fourth one is freemium or penetration. Free or below cost to gain share. Very simple. When do you do that? It's very simple. You're very new to the market. You really want to test the need. And more importantly, so how do you do? Do you give your full product? No. Maybe in case of study AI, they can give one chapter, one free chapter. And then after that, rupees 99 full subject. So it could give them early adoption or maybe fast adoption with low friction. The cons is it devalues the product. It attracts sometimes wrong users. Use this when network effects matter. The choice is yours. Use all the four of them. Cost plus gives the floor, value based gives the ceiling, competitive gives a context, and together they give you the zone to test in. Netflix, very high, very competitive. In fact, the price is really very high. But look at for India, 149 rupees per month, the last package that they actually offer, versus $9.99 in the US. Okay, same product, but pure value based plus competitive pricing by the market. Let's understand these in detail. The baseline everyone starts with, of course, with cost plus. And this is the formula. Price is equal to cost into 1 plus the target market percentage. Let's take the table of study AI cost plus worked example. The variable cost per download is 7 because that's the 2% that goes to Razorpay that we have already discussed, the payment gateway. So the fixed cost per download at 1200 per month will be how much? It is 30 rupees, 30.6 rupees. And the total cost per download, just add 7 rupees, you get 37.6. So the markup is very simple. It's actually 163% to hit 99, which is 2.63 times. Okay, put the price there in the same equation as 99. The total cost, if you want, you can put it as 37.6. And you'll get your target market markup percentage, which is 163%. Okay. So when cost plus fails, the problem one is it ignores what the customer is willing to pay. If your product saves someone, let's say 5,000 rupees, charging 99 leaves 4,901 on the table. Just see. You could have charged more, and that's the problem. Problem two is it penalizes efficiency. As you scale and fixed cost drop per unit, cost plus says to lower prices, okay, when you should be keeping the margin. And problem three, it gives no competitive information. Your costs have nothing to do with what alternatives cost in the market. Again, I'm reiterating, use cost plus pricing as your flow. It tells you the minimum you must charge to survive. It does not tell you the maximum you could charge. Always test higher. Let's understand value-based pricing in detail. And the formula here we'll take is price equal to value to the customer minus switching cost buffer. What is switching cost? They might be using a particular product for so long and they're so used to it, habituated, that really they feel that what if we change from this product to that product, how much will that cost? And that cost is the switching cost. Okay, let's look at the worked out example. Value element is very important. Time saved versus manual notes, maybe 2 hours at 250 rupees per hour. So the estimated value is 500. And here is the opportunity. Opportunity cost of students' time per subject. The second one is tutor session equivalent 1 hour, 400 to 600 in market. Private tuition market rate, particularly that you see in the tier 2 cities. It will be definitely higher in tier 1. Improved score probability. Okay, so 200 to 400 rupees. Perceived value of better board exam performance is another value. Then printed guide from stationery. You may go and actually take 80 to 150 rupees, the closest physical substitute. Right. So what's the price range that you're actually getting? 780 to 1,250. Conservative value estimate. And what you are pricing is 99. So the best way is, we're not saying that you charge 780 or 1,250. That is a different, decision that you'll have to make. But you can have a 30% buffer, 99 to 299. This is going to leave significant surplus for the customer. And how do you arrive at this? What would it cost my customer to get the same result without my product? Just ask this question. If the customer would not have used your product, where had he or she, spent the cost? That is your value ceiling. Price below it. So in this case, it's of course maybe less than 780, but above your cost floor. Let's look at the competitive pricing, where you sit versus the alternatives. Okay. So alternative is private tuition, one session, 400 to 600 in person. You have to, sometimes you have to go. It's not maybe online. Study AI is 85 to 95% cheaper, but it's quite so async. That's very important. Competitors chapter notes, 100 to 200 could be in app subscription form, direct competitor. So study AI is equal to parity or below, means equal or maybe less. Printed guide, stationery, 80 to 150 rupees. It's physical, closest substitute. So study AI digital is equal to above if you compare. YouTube free, no money, free video, free alternative. Study AI is equal to structured and curated. So therefore, you have a plus point there. School textbook chapter, again, because you're in a school, you're bound to buy. So let's assume that the price will be zero. Free physical, assuming it's government. Study AI is equal to supplement and not replace. So where does study AI current going to fall? 99 rupees, digital PDF, 34% below the competitors. Okay. 5 times cheaper than one tuition session. You can do all the math from the above numbers. Study AI tested 129, digital PDF. Quite close to the price that your competitor is offering. So competitor's low end, still 5x below tutor. So the race to the bottom trap. Matching competitors on price assumes your only differentiator is price. Don't do this mistake. If study AI's curation, AI adoption, adaptation, or exam alignment is better than alternatives, the existing competition, that difference justifies a premium, not the parity, not equality. Only race to the bottom if you have a cost advantage that sustains it. And the last framework here is freemium and the penetration. When to give it away, which means when to give it free and when not to. So penetration pricing, launch below market rate to gain share fast, maybe raise the price once established. When it works, large market, very simple. If it's a large market, price sensitive users, network effects, fast commoditization risk. That's another risk. I mean, people can copy it very easily, or there are other competitors who can come. The risk here is attracts price sensitive users who churn, who leave once you increase the price. So study AI's launch could be 49 rupees, and then slowly by month 4, you can increase the price at 99. And by doing that, gained 800. I'm not sure if you've lost, but in month 1, because of 49, maybe 800 users you actually gained. So use if adoption speed matters more than the margin in month 1. Freemium, core product free, premium features paid, conversion rate, it's a key metric. And when does it work? Digital product, low marginal cost, network effects, high lifetime value. The risk involved here is free users cost you money, but never convert. Only works if lifetime value by CAC, which is cost, the customer acquisition cost is more than 3 times, right? The cost that you pay to acquire your customer is called customer acquisition cost, and usually when you spend only in marketing specifically to attract one customer, that's the price that we actually see. So going forward, we're going to see in unit economics maybe the CAC part and LTV in detail. So study AI free, 1 chapter per subject, then full subject pack 99, and there could be a team plan 799 per year. Use of free users, refer paying users, or improve the product. And when neither works. If your margins are thin, free, and cheap, drain the business before you scale. When it works, physical products, high COGS, commoditized market with no loyalty. And the risk involved is you cannot afford to acquire users for free and hope to convert them later. Okay. So whether it is Aryan's, study AI or it's Rajan's restaurant, cannot offer free meals to build a customer base. So you must know your customer acquisition cost payback. If you have been doing this for free for 3 months of margin, please avoid freemium. Let's understand the psychological pricing. It is very common, right? You may not have realized. First one is if you go to any store for one product, you see 99. You see any price starting with 9, but not with 1,000,000. Just look at that. Same product, very different result. First one is 3 digits, and and then you see two digits in one. The signs of how price perception works and how to use it. There are 6 tactics that change how price feels. So this 99 versus 100 is a charm pricing. Left digit anchoring. You're basically trying to have customers' perception towards the 2 digits and very especially the left digit. The brain reads 99 as closer to 90. So therefore, 100 is definitely the higher price and 99 is cheaper. That's how psychologically it works. So works especially well below 500 rupees. So don't say 500, say it 499. Always use for consumer pricing. Then there's something anchoring, which is very common. Show 499 rupees plan first and then 99. Okay, so start with a very high price, set as a reference point, and everything else is judged relative to it. High anchor makes 99 feel cheap. So show your most expensive option first on pricing. And it's very common. I mean, if you go to any flea market, maybe in tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, any city, any place in India, for anything which is commoditized, okay, the shopkeeper or the vendor will come and say, hey, this is at 300 rupees. And then you start bargaining. You say, but when you start bargaining, of course, you'll not say, give it to me at 50 rupees. You'll also feel, right, can you give it to me at 200? Even at 200, in reality, that particular product would have gained enough to that vendor. So why is he keeping 300 for you? Because he's ensuring that your mind gets anchored around the price and you will definitely not go much below that. The next one is the decoy effect. Very common. You go to any airports, okay? Forget that. You go to any of the coffee shops, the Starbucks of the world, right? You'll find 3 prices: small, medium, and large, all written very close to each other. And when you say small, 99, medium, 149, large, 199, your mind, of course, will move towards the larger. And you also then look at the glass, the tumbler size. So the middle option is a decoy. M makes L better value and S look too basic. So most users always choose L. So always offer 3 tiers. Make the middle unattractive on purpose. Then comes the price framing. You must have seen in most of the insurance companies nowadays have started doing this. Instead of giving a large premium for the entire year, they put it 4 rupees per day or 1 rupee per day. Just think about it, less than 1. So annual price sounds large, daily equivalent sounds trivial, same number, radically different perception. So you may also use daily or weekly framing for annual subscriptions. Another tactic is bundle the pricing. 3 subjects, 249 rupees. On the other hand, if you give it individually, 99 into 3 would cost you 297. What you're actually gaining when you're bundling, first of all, it's reducing the price, of course. It's creating a perception of savings. It also increases average order value by 2 to 3 per transaction. So you don't have to struggle to get customers. Which product to bundle? Bundle your most popular with your least discovered product. Then there's something called scarcity and urgency, right? Some of the mobile phone companies, right, when they started launching in India long back ago, I mean, it was very, very common, right? It's only available for very short period of time. You go to a particular e-commerce site and, right, it'll go away, right? A very high premium, end phone, premium end phone, and then the price looks very affordable, but it'll go away. So it's trying to create that urgency, the sense of the scarcity, right? So early access price 99 ends 31st. And it's very common. We have to do that. So deadline creates some action. Price anchors the real price as higher. Works if deadline is genuine. Okay. So what does it mean? Don't keep increasing that. If you're saying it's 31st, on the first, it has to be at its full price, and then you'll realize, oh, I actually lost. So use for launches, never fake scarcity. It destroys trust permanently. Because what will happen, oh, you know that, oh, they're going to extend the price. So what all four frameworks say about Aryan's price? In case of cost plus, simple reasoning, 37.6 was the cost, and there's a markup 2.63. Amazing, that percentage. It's very high. Current price justified. But in case of value based, 149 to 99, the tutor alternative 400 to 600. So there's a 30% buffer that leaves 180 rupees target. It's medium. Aryan is advised to go out and test it immediately for 149. Comparative 99 to 129, right? And maybe for the namesake, you may take some competitor or take the example, right, of Baiju. Let's say they would be selling at 100 to 200 and 34% below, right, positioning room. So it's high. So 129, safe comparative move. Freemium, it's very simple. First is zero, the first chapter, and then for the full chapter, 99. One chapter free. It's very simple. And for annual 70, 99. Confidence level here is medium, but launch free tier in year two. The recommended is 129. It's a charm price above cost floor, below competitive ceiling, value justified. A/B test versus 99 this month. And we already saw in the earlier slides. So the revenue impact at 129 versus 99 for 112 downloads was very simple, 36,000 more per month. Start with this, right? So A/B test conversion rate first. If 129 drops the conversion, by more than 12%, okay, create two groups, A and B, and then you can actually go ahead and do that. The revenue gain, disappears. Test before committing. So what founders get wrong when setting price? Setting price once and never testing it. That's one. Okay. The fix is very simple. Price is not a policy, it's a hypothesis. Test a 10 to 20% higher price on 50% of visitors every quarter. Let data drive your decision. Second mistake is using I don't know, I don't want to seem greedy as a pricing signal. This is also most honest entrepreneurs actually feel. The fix is your discomfort with a higher price is actually irrelevant. The customer's willingness to pay is the only signal that matters. So discomfort will always give you underpriced value. The third one is discounting instead of repackaging, because you don't want to lose your customers. The fix is very simple. If customers say it's too expensive, don't discount. Remove features to create a lower tier, because otherwise they will not have any confidence. And every time you will face in this dilemma, this problem, you keep reducing the price. So never train customers to wait for discounts. The fourth one is pricing below cost is the wrong market. In the wrong market, sorry. The fix is very simple. Penetration pricing only works when the customer acquisition cost pays back in less than 6 months via lifetime value. If you never convert free users, free is just cash burning. Stop that. So the recap is very simple. Price is a hypothesis and not a policy. Use all four frameworks to find the zone. In case of study AI, we found something between 99 to 199. Value-based pricing is the most powerful. So the question is, what would it cost the customer to get the same result without your product, is the question. Price below that, but above your costs. The last one is a 10% price increase. So the fourth one is a 10% price increase is worth 130 extra downloads. At 1,200 downloads, we saw obviously 36,000 rupees per month, which is more than 4 lakh rupees. So this is the amount that was actually getting lost, right? No extra work, just increase the price at 10%. So the most underused lever in every startup. So your action for this week is very simple. Audit your price, run all 4 frameworks. This week's challenge starts by writing down your current price and how you priced at it. Gut feel, cost, copy a competitor, whatever. Run framework 1, the cost plus pricing. What's your cost per unit at current volume? What markup does your price imply? Frame 2, the value based. What is the next best alternative for your customer? What does it cost? What would a 30% buffer price be? The third one is list 3 to 5 direct competitors and the prices, and where does your price sit? The fourth one is it freemium or penetration relevant for your business? What are the conversion economics? The last one is state your recommended price after all 4 frameworks. If it differs from your current price, test it. Okay, all you're going to see is at worksheet number 5, T5, and I will make sure that the download section is available, but you can actually see the same link in any of the previous sessions also under the description section. So pricing tip of the week is very simple. Run a price test this week. Take your existing product, show 50% of your new visitors a price that is 20% higher, measure revenue per visitor, not just conversion rate. If revenue per visitor goes up, raise the price permanently. Next session is all about unit economics, and that's where we will actually understand the customer acquisition cost, the monthly run rate, the churn rate, the lifetime value, everything. You know your price, and these are the things that you need to actually learn. Session 6 is complete from my side. You can now evaluate and defend any price decision. Again, before we sign off, price is a hypothesis and not a policy. Test it. Cost plus is the floor, value based is the ceiling. Test between them. And 10% increased price costs you nothing and gains you thousands. See you in session 7. Thank you so much for watching. Do like and subscribe.